Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you why PRS is better than Fender. Now yes, I know I just said that PRS is better than Fender. I don't actually think that. I don't think either one of these brands is better than the other. I think both of them do things that are great and both of them do things that are better than what the other brand does. But that's just because they're different brands. Each one's going to have their quirks and features. So before you guys get all upset, I'm going to be making the exact same video, but in the opposite order about why Fender is better than PRS in my next video. If you guys disagree with any one of my points, feel free to let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation about this. But please be constructive. There's really no point in being upset or angry about someone's opinion about a block of wood with some strings. It's not that deep, guys. Now let's get into it. The first thing that PRS does better than Fender is they have a slightly shorter scale length. Now, what the scale length is, it's all of the playable area on your guitar, that being from your saddles all the way up to the nut. And what a shorter scale length will do is the strings are under less tension because they're closer together, making it a lot easier to bend and play the strings. With the Fender, they are slightly longer, making it a little bit more difficult to bend the strings. It's still not hard to do, but it is a difference. And with that shorter scale length, that means that a PRS guitar will be easier to play. Now yes, some Fenders will have shorter scale lengths. I believe on like the Jazzmaster and stuff like that, they have shorter scale lengths. I could be totally wrong there. Another big thing that I think PRS does better than Fender is I think they're a little bit more comfortable. Don't get me wrong, a Strat is a very comfortable guitar, but I think the majority of all PRSs I've ever played have been significantly more comfortable than most other Fenders that I've played. Especially when you get down to the Telecasters and stuff like that, which, I'm sorry, but aren't very comfortable guitars. Still great guitars, but not very comfortable. And then this could also be very subjective based on how you're built as a person, but I think this guitar just fits me a little bit better than a Strat does. I think it hugs my body a little bit better. I think the neck is in a much better position for my hand. Also, if you look at the heel, it's a little bit shallower of a heel, which make it a little bit easier to reach those higher frets. If I could show you guys here, I'm able to reach all 24 very easily. And on here, I'm able to reach all 22. Just not as easily because it's pretty blocky back here on the heel joint. It's not the best, but that's just one of those things you kind of have to deal with these kind of guitars. The PRS also has a carved top shape, which makes it a little bit more comfortable on your forearm. Well, this one doesn't have a carved top, I guess, but it does have a comfort carve on the top there. Again, both guitars are pretty comfortable. This one just fits me better. Something else that makes PRS guitars a little bit more comfortable, and it's not necessarily a comfort thing, it's more of just a playability thing, is that the Applejack is on the side. With Stratocasters here, you have the Applejack on the front, and when playing standing up, you have to kind of wrap the cable in a weird way. And I don't really like it very much. I prefer to have it on the side with a 90-degree jack. That way you're able to just kind of strap it, or loop it over the strap, and it's completely out of your way. But if it's in the front, it also kind of covers up your body too. It's a beautiful guitar. You don't want to cover it up. So that's why I like how the PRS has it on the side. Now, okay, this next one is definitely a little bit more subjective, but I think PRS makes better looking guitars than Fender does. And that's not what Fender's going for. They're kind of going more for a tool rather than an art piece, which, I mean, PRS is as well, but you can't really deny with the different types of tops you can get, the different colors and stuff, that Fender's just kind of lacking in the looks department, in my personal opinion. But obviously, you might not like flame maple, you might not like zebra wood, like on this guitar. You might just like a plain top finish, and that's totally fine. I just like this a little bit better because it's a little bit like fancier, you know? You have more range with the flame tops and the colors and all that stuff, so I just think there's a lot more options in terms of how you want your guitar to look, and I think that's a big selling point for these PRS guitars. And with all of those things, I think what PRS actually does best is how well-rounded they are. You can really get any tone out of these things, and they really, really sound amazing. And with the Fender range of instruments, a Strat's going to sound like a Strat, and a Telly's going to sound like a Telly. And actually, I think people kind of slump on Tellys for how well-rounded they are. They're actually pretty well-rounded guitars, but it's not going to be nearly as well-rounded as a PRS, on the other hand. And all of that versatility can come out of just two knobs on this specific 24 in particular. You've got a master volume, and you got a master tone, and a three-way selector switch with also, wrong pot, with also a push-pull feature. And I honestly think out of all the guitars that come with push-pull pots, I think PRS does the best job. I think it sounds the most different from its just regular humbucker state. I think it sounds the most like a real single coil. So I think PRS does that very well also when it comes to its well-roundedness. And adding on to the well-roundedness of these guitars, these handle gain a lot better. And by their design, most Fender guitars come with single coils, which, as many of you guys know, don't handle gain as well as a humbucker will. A humbucker will give it that girth and size that the sound needs with all of that gain, while a single coil kind of pulls it back a little bit, which kind of isn't as good as if you want to play some kind of heavier stuff, a lot of heavier rock and rolls, things like that, which PRS just does a lot better. And with having a great dirty and distortion sound, They also have a very good clean sound. Do I think it's as good as a clean sound as the Fenders? Probably not, but they still have a very good clean sound, and again, it just kind of adds on to that well-roundedness. Now, this one in particular is definitely an opinion thing, but I personally believe that the SE range of guitars from PRS are a little bit better in terms of quality than your Fender equivalent, which would be the Player series. You can get both for around the same price, and both of them, don't get me wrong, are fantastic guitars, especially for the value. If you're a beginner guitar, or maybe you're looking to get, your next guitar, more intermediate range, you will not go wrong with either one of those. However, I do think that the PRS range with the SE line is just a little bit better in terms of quality as opposed to the Player series. Again, don't get me wrong, both are fantastic guitars for the money. I just think that PRS does it a little bit better. And on the other side of the wallet, not talking about more budget-oriented guitars with these brands, let's talk about the private stock. If you have the cash to spare, you're not going to beat a private stock PRS. I've been talking about them a lot on this channel, and that's because I really want one, but I think they are the most beautiful guitars there is from any brand. And again, that's if you have the cash to spare to where it even matters. If you're gonna spend 14 grand on a guitar, I'd much rather spend 14 grand on a private stock PRS rather than a vintage Strat or whatnot. But that's obviously just personal preference. I just think that these are so much more beautiful, especially whenever you get to the private stock range of guitars. Private stock range of guitars. That was a weird sentence. And that just about wraps up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. And again, I don't actually think that either one of these brands are better than the other. I love both of these brands very, very much. I just think there's some things that each brand does better than the other. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, feel free to click like. And if you loved it, feel free to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.